All right, Coop, here we go.
Welcome to the Coop Tank. I'm your host, Steve Cooper, coming to you from Sweet Recording in beautiful Mount Laurel, New Jersey. I got to tell you, man, I'm here with my producer, Joe Gangemi. And before we get to the show, I'm going to tell you, I'm really, really excited today. I have 3 young professionals who are just out there kicking ass. And I'm not used to talking to young kids. I don't have kids, but they're awesome. They're out there. But I'm here with Joe, who's also a young kid. He's, I think, how old are you, Joe?
I'm actually 34. I'm older or younger than I look, I think.
Joe's 34 and he's single, ladies, if you want to go on a date. And he's very good to drink with. But Joe, tell me, okay, so we're talking and we're hanging out and you're this Contap. Tell me about the Contap.
Oh, sure thing, Coop. Thanks so much. So Contap is a series of NFC devices. Let me try to pull it up correctly on the screen. My streaming service today is acting very funny. But anyway, Contap is a series of NFC devices like this key fob here. We also have wristbands, we have table stands, we have all kinds of cool things. And the idea is to use NFC technology, which is the smartphone tap technology, to bring people pretty much directly where you want them to go. So in a networking sort of an environment, it's perfect if you're trying to send somebody directly to your LinkedIn, directly to your latest podcast, or whatever the case may be. It's the easiest and quickest way to do it.
Okay, and then tell me now more about Sweet Recording. Is where I come, people. It's a great place.
Absolutely. Sweet Recording is where Coop and I are right now. Sweet Recording is a podcast and content studio here in Mount Laurel, and we specialize in helping brands and businesses to leverage the power of audio and video content and live streaming. We do all kinds of different recording. We do, a full suite of production services, mobile recording, and even studio design and build outs. So just about anything that you could need within the realm of video and audio content for your brand or business, contact us anytime at sweetrecording.com.
Okay, so I got to tell you, man, it's all about growth. I sit there and I've had 5 all women panels, and I think I'm gonna go the whole view right now. From now on, I'm gonna have all women on my show because they have so much input. And I sat there and I said, as an interviewer, how can I grow? And I said, you know what? I gotta bring on the young generation, and I'm an advocate for the young generation. I always sit there and I go to events, and I do the next Cocktails with Cooper is May 7th, and I said I love talking to the young people. I love because they're our future, and so many people my age, I'm 60, or just, excuse the language, they're fucking dinosaurs. And they don't want to find out what these kids talk about. And that's why I said today, I have to get some young professionals. And I know 2 of their parents, but my first guest, and I rounded, she's taking pictures. You guys host a great event at the coffee shop in Medford, and it's Jess Battistelli from Vantage. How you doing, Jess?
Hi, Steve. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm good.
All right, good.
So I'll introduce myself.
Yeah, it's fine. No, we'll talk about what you do and all that. But I'm so glad to have you because you always take the pictures. You're so good at what you do.
Yeah.
And it's great. And just like, and you're 25. Oh my God, 25. Holy shit. She's my granddaughter. And next we have a Francesca. Her mom's been on the show. Francesca Venti. How you doing, Francesca?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for having me.
And then finally, our
laggy.
third is you're lagging. It's all right. Don't worry. We'll work it up. The third is her dad, her mom. They've all been on my show. It's Kristin Jennings. How are you, Kristin?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
So Jess, tell us a little about Vantage Commercial and what you do, because I see Lior. I said you have a great event. You take the pictures, but what do you do for your company?
So Vantage Commercial, we're just a brokerage basically out of Cherry Hill, and we do all of South Jersey and starting to do more north, and then we also do Philly. I'm the marketing director, so I basically just do anything you can think of with marketing. But as you said, we have the coffee event, which is really fun. We do that monthly, and I believe the next one, it's every 3rd Thursday of the month, so I'll get the date. But it's been really fun. So yeah, everything marketing, but we can dive more into it later.
We will. Francesca, how about you? What do you do for Abacus?
I am the director of practice growth. So I get to work with people in the very beginning of onboarding to our payroll company before passing them off to just an incredible team.
And how about you, Kristin? What do you do for Telecorp?
And I'm hoping that was heard. Okay.
So I'm the marketing communication specialist for Telecorp, and I also do pretty much anything marketing. But basically, I wrote myself some notes, so bear with me here. But I handle social media. I go to the networking events, and I pretty much just make sure people know who we are, and I encourage them to want to do business with us.
Yep.
So I run into all you people, and I know you guys, and I'm gonna say, you're fresh out of college, and I sit there and I've had so many different careers. I was in Hollywood, and I have friends. My roommate from college was a marketing major, and he just retired being a pilot for UPS. But Jess, what was your path to where you are now? Because when you get out of college, most of us don't know what we're going to do. But how did you end up at Vantage?
Well, honestly, when I started college, I was like undecided, and in psychology, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And I cannot for the life of me remember what got me into advertising at Rowan, but I'm glad I did it. So when I was in Rowan, I was doing full-time advertising and everything, but I actually was working at a gutter company, just trying to figure out like where I can go and promote myself. And then I ended up at Integrity, National Integrity Title Agency, and I was working with an internship there basically. And that kind of got me in like the real estate side of everything. And that got me really interested in all this. And then as I was working at the gutter company, I actually was trying to find other jobs that actually fit marketing. And that's how I got to Vantage. So I applied through LinkedIn, and here I am. So I got this job like right before I graduated, kind of. So it was great to line up and just start.
So you got it through LinkedIn. That's amazing. 'Cause I know George Duffield from he's been on the show from National Integrity, and it's amazing that you got the job through
Yeah.
LinkedIn. And that's awesome. So people, even though there's a lot of assholes on LinkedIn, you find job opportunities. Francesca, how did you end up at Abacus? Because we talked earlier, you have a background and you wanted to be a chef.
I knew I originally wanted to end up in food and hospitality somehow, some way. So then before I keep going, am I okay? Like, can you guys okay?
You're fine. Yeah, you can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, yep, I originally was in school for culinary and hospitality management. And a couple years into that, I had the opportunity to leave and run a restaurant, which definitely I gained a ton of experience that way. I think maybe more so than finishing out the program that I was currently enrolled in. And then from there, so restaurants always, and then I got 5 years. So I was in food distribution in Philadelphia. I worked for 2 really great companies and loved it. But as far as ability, kind of what I thought my life would end up being someday, I wanted to do something that maybe didn't follow the track of restaurants and the restaurant schedules. So I got out of food in an interesting way. Steve knows Angela, my mother, but I was able to get out of the food industry, take everything that I learned, and now apply it to payroll and accounting. So super grateful for the whole track. I think I'm a little bit older than you guys. I'm actually 29. So just the whole journey from school to here, I've been so grateful, and definitely not what I expected.
See, you're all under 30, so you're all young professionals. I'm a fucking dinosaur. Joe's 34. Yeah. I look at Joe, I'm like, Joe's dad was in the studio earlier. I'm like, I want to meet your dad. I could be your dad. And if Joe was my son, we'd be going crazy. Anyway, Kristin, tell us, because I know you, I know your parents, but how did you end up working for your dad, and how did you end up at Telecorp?
Funny story. So I started college as a theater major. So I did not think I was ending up anywhere near this, but I started in theater, and then I got about a year in and went, yikes, never mind, this isn't for me. And I moved on, and I actually transferred schools. I went to Rowan too, and I somehow also ended up in advertising and PR. And I graduated with those as my degrees. And then I had a couple jobs before here that kind of showed me, some skills and taught me some things. And then I kind of ended up in a spot where I didn't have a job at a certain point. And my dad called me and went, hey, we have an opportunity. You interested? And I was like, well, why not? So we're giving it a shot, and it's been awesome.
So I got to ask you all, because as I said, networking is sort of an old person's game. And it's just the way it was. And I moved back from LA, in the networking, and the pandemic happened. So I had to create stuff. But do you, Kristin, we're going to talk about it because your dad knows everybody. Do you think it's an old person's game? And as a young person, how do you make a difference? Because when I do cocktails with Cooper, when a young person walks in, I love it. I'm like, oh my God, they got balls. You know, my niece lives in Manhattan. She's a manager at an ad agency. She goes out. I adore her and I'm so respectful of her. But do you think it's an old person's game? And if you do, how are we going to change it to make it a young person's game?
I don't know. I think it kind of goes both ways depending on the event and depending on where you are. I think it has maybe been an old person's game because that's kind of just who's in the business world. But there are plenty of young professionals that I've met that are super cool and go to all kinds of events that they're all over the place. I mean, these two right here, and there's a whole bunch of others that I could probably list off, but I won't do that. But I don't know. I think it's kind of everybody's game at this point.
Okay. How about you, Jess? Because could you run an event too? And your event, I've been to your event, and it's old people. I know, no offense. I love it. I love the event, and it's great coffee. Oh my God, they have the best lattes. But what do you think as someone who's 20, you're 25? What do you think is it an old person's game, and how do you change that?
I don't think it's necessarily an old person's game, but I do feel like the people that come are generally a little bit more in the business and they know what they're doing and everything. Not that we don't know what we're doing at our age, but I feel like we're so new and fresh that like we're coming off of like what we're currently doing. And everyone that comes to these events always has like so much experience. So I think that's where it kind of balances out because we're like fresh and like talking about what we're currently doing and plans and future stuff. And I know for us, it's big. Like I'll talk about social media and everything. And then when I'm connecting with the older generation with that, that's where it kind of is cool because they'll learn from us and then I'm learning from them different ways of networking. So I think, yes, it's a lot of older people, if you want to say that come, but I think it kind of balances out because of that. So
okay. Right. And how about you, Francesca? What do you think? Because you go to events with your mom and you meet people. I've met you at the Hamilton Happy Hour. But do you think it's an old person's game? And how do you change that?
I don't necessarily think I would call it the commingling of so many different generations and even older or just later on in their I think that my favorite thing about going to a networking in their career and you're bringing them all together to another to connect. So I think it would be very boring if it was just one generation or another generation. I think that mixture, I think a mixture of ages, people, industries is what makes that so fabulous. No, I wouldn't want necessarily that to change. I think the conversations as AI, social media, those conversations will always change, and then we'll all kind of work through it together. It gives us all something to talk about when we get to connect and hear about.
Okay, so what all you guys do, Vantage Commercial Real Estate, Abacus Payroll, Telecorp, there's thousands of you guys. Okay, and then that's just honestly. So, Kristin, we're gonna start with you. Why am I coming to? Besides, I know Tim, but your dad. I would, if I needed, I would go. But no, you meet someone at an event. Why am I going to do business with you? Because there's 1,000 of you. So how do we? Why am I doing? What makes you special? What makes your company special?
Yeah, it is hard to differentiate. And I think one of our biggest things is now, recently we've become like a whole family business, multi-generation family business. I think that's really special to people. I hope it's special to me because it's kind of a really nice like blend of my dad and my mom have been out there for years and they've been meeting people, talking to people, building relationships, helping people, all kinds of stuff. And now I kind of get to hop into that and build on that and grow with them. And I think that's really special. And I think another thing that makes us really special is the people who work with us. Like the guys that work here are amazing at what they do. They are so special and they will do just about anything you need them to do. They're really good. So I think that separates us from other companies.
Hey, Jess, if I have a commercial spot, why am I coming to Vant? I mean, why am I coming to you? I mean, Lior is a cool guy, but it's not like I'm not, I don't, I mean, I went to high school with Adam Rose. So, but why am I coming to your company?
I think our thing is that being a boutique firm, we are very like different with that. When it comes to real estate and everything, I think it's very individual. And when you see a lot of real estate agents, it's very like self goals, self sales, like all that kind of stuff. And I think everything here we do together as like almost like a family. We have every listing basically has partners, and we also have property management hand in hand with commercial real estate. So that's kind of like a big benefit when we go to people. But I feel like we're just different because everything is very together. And it doesn't feel as salesy as I feel like some other places might feel. But yeah, I don't know. And I feel like we're very focused on marketing as well. And that's a big thing that we try to bring to everyone is that's what we can give back and provide. Whereas I don't know if every other company is always doing that. So it's a big thing we focus on.
Okay. How about Angela, Francesca? We have, I have so many companies I know who do payroll, and that why am I coming to Abacus?
Fantastic, but the thing that I'm very proud of with us is, right, you can't mess up. You have to take care of your team. You have to get your team paid. If you have any questions, if you ever run into a hitch, when you call us, everybody on our team knows exactly they're going to get that issue or hitch resolved instantaneously. So I love the fact that, we're a family company, and customer service really is what our shtick is. We take care of people. We're very proud when somebody trusts us with that business. Same thing on the accounting side. What makes us different on ours? What makes us different? Not that the other payroll companies don't have that as well, but
yeah. Okay, so you've been out of college for. I mean, it's all different. Francesca, you're 29. Jess, you're 25.
Yeah, 24. But yeah.
Kristin, you're 27.
25. Don't age me.
20. I don't know. I'm saying no. So we're going to start you, Jess. What is it like, getting out of college? And I talk to people all the time on Facebook, and they go, "Man, I went to Stockton, so screw you, Rome people." But I'm a Stockton guy. But now people go, "Man, we missed college. It was so great." And I'm like, I had a great time in college. I was BMOC. I was a sheep in high school. I was a quiet kid in high school, but I became this big, and I miss college, but I don't want to go back there. I don't. And my friends say, "Oh, we miss it. We would love to go back." But for you, what is it like? Because I've talked to other young professionals. A young woman from Stockton reached out to me, and she was like, "You're in that thing where you're still growing." Mm-hmm. And so Jess, what is it like? Do you miss college? Or are you excited? I mean, where are you right now in your life? Are you excited for the future? Because we don't know what's going to happen in the country. But where are you as a young professional and a shaker and mover? Where is your mindset right now? What do you want to do? Do you want to stay with Vantage for the rest of your life, or what do you want to do?
I'd say I don't miss college. I think that was not a great time of my life, okay. But I would say, obviously, I want to stay with Vantage now and just grow here and everything. But, you never know what's going to come down the line, and maybe I'll open my own marketing place one day. I don't know. But right now, just growing here and really learning, like, I know you guys all know, but we're trying to lean into more AI stuff. And it's like just trying to adapt and understand that even 2 years ago in college, everything's different now. So it's just, yeah, I don't know. It's just a lot of growing and adapting. And I love where I am right now. And even related aside from work, it's great, and it's not what I expected 2 years ago. So I think it's just constant change. But yeah,
that's awesome. Now, how about you, Francesca? I mean, what are your long-term goals? You're 29. You're oh my God, Joe. She's the oldest of the group, and she's like, God, she's so fucking young. What are your long-term goals? Do you sit there and say I want to be in payroll my whole life, or what do you think? Where do you want to go?
Wonderful thing about this firm has to offer is, if I want, and they told me this from the very beginning, I could learn here for 10, 20. Like there's so much to learn here. People that are so good at what they do. So accounting, payroll, there's just so many different avenues here. I love learning. I miss the college years at all, but I haven't stopped taking classes on the side, just like for my own interests and hobbies. I'm going to have the opportunity to qualify for CPE just because my boss. So I think so long as I can keep learning and keep engaging, 20 years of my life looks like. But right now, I'm hungry to learn, and this place is ready to do that. And that's all I can ask for right now.
Okay. How about you, Kristin?
Well, I don't think I would say I miss college. Of course, I cherish the relationships and the memories I made there, but I wouldn't go back at this point. Very happy where I am right now. I feel like I have a lot of opportunity to learn right now. Like we've talked about my mom, my dad. They have a lot of experience in the marketing and the networking and all kinds of stuff. So I feel like they're my lifeline right now. They're my resources that I can really learn and grow with. So I feel like that's been really beneficial for me. And I don't know where I'm going to end up in 5 years. I don't know where I'm going to end up in 30 minutes, but I'm just excited right now where I am.
That's what I love, because you guys are youth. It's so funny. It's someone to me. I'm like, youth is so important. I was in Manhattan the other day, and my brother lives there, and we were talking, and we're dreamers. That's what we do. The whole Cooper family. Now I always joke around, we're orphans, but we're dreamers, and it's so important to dream, and you guys do that. Now, let me ask you, and we'll start with you, Kristin. Do you feel there's ageism? Because I've talked to financial people who say, Pat McCrindle, great guy. He's like, people look at him, oh, you're 20, 27 or whatever. How are you going to handle my money? Do you think there's ageism in what you do? Because someone comes to you and you're out, Kristin, and you're talking to someone and they go, and once again, my old guy impression, what does this person know? Do you think there's ageism?
I don't know. I don't really find that a lot in my line of work, with marketing. I feel like people tend to trust me more almost sometimes because I'm younger, and I feel like, not that I'm saying I'm some expert, but I feel like I tend to know more about social media and the newer things that have come out, I guess, in the last 10 years. I kind of have a little more experience firsthand with. So I feel like people are kind of more trusting to go, okay, you probably know what you're talking about. Let's figure something out. So I haven't really personally encountered that, but I can't say it doesn't exist.
Okay. How about you, Francesca? What do you think? Because you're in payroll, and payroll is, in the past, it's an old person's game. It's just the way it is. But so have you dealt with ageism?
To Alloy and entering the networking world in this capacity. This is actually the first time that I in a profession in a way that they think is normal. So that always surprises me. I think I have a young _1. So I think sometimes it's hard to
You're cutting out. You're cutting out, Francesca. Can you go to
I have
room?
a zinger to when. So there's never a thing in the food industry when I was walking, tuna or a rack of lamb. Nobody was ever stopping to be how old are you? But no, I think not necessarily always when it comes up just in conversation. Maybe that's not the best thing.
Francesca, you're cutting out. Can you go to another room, or can you change? Can you
right on past that? It doesn't matter how I'm talking about.
No, we're in a big delay. We're live anyway. We'll get back to it. Can you plug in somehow? Because I can't hear what you're saying. Jess, ageism. You're in an industry that it's an older industry. So have you faced it when you go to events and you run an event? What's up?
Yeah, I'd say even in the office every day, it's not I'm not experiencing the ageism. They're more over here. They're like, here, you do it. You figure out what you want to do and just tell us what to do. Cause they're very like, I don't know. The only thing I'd say with ageism, I think, is trying to get people to understand like social media is changing and that comes with trends. So what's funny here is we do, like, I'll try to find trending stuff and everything, but we found the one and I was like, all right, guys, we're going to do this. And they're all like, what is this? Like, why are we going to do that? So just trying to get people uncomfortable with doing it. The outcome is, I think, the only thing that comes with the ageism here. Networking events, I don't feel like I really do anything. It's fun when people come and I'm like, yeah, I'm the marketing person. We do this, whatever. And then you kind of just mesh. But I'd say the only ageism thing is the social media, really. So, and it's always fun once we're done and I'm like, look how many views you got. So, but yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna stay with you, Jess. You know, us old people. I'm good on social media, and I get my shit out there. I go on TikTok. I have a stupid character. I get like during the Super Bowl, I had 10,000 views, which is pretty damn good. It's a kid Coopy. I put my hat sideways and I put my glasses down. And kids, they call me Unk. Unk, man, you're rocking it. And me and my wife were in Italy, and I took a picture of me and her. I'm like, yeah, I met this hot girl, and like Unk's getting game, but I've learned. But I never knew the lingo. So we're gonna stay with you, Jess. What can you teach people who are over 40 or 50 that don't have a clue what the trends are now? What can you tell them? I always ask people, if you're a mentor, what you do. But for this, what can you tell people to do that they should know from the young generation? Because businesses, my wife just bought a glass of lemonade yesterday from a fifth grader. And so it's, but what would you tell? What was your knowledge as a young person who is good social media? And we need social media. What would you tell people, older people, how to run their business? What insight would you give them?
I mean, social media alone, it sounds funny, but I would tell them just see what's going on. Really, at least 1 hour a day or something. I always go on and just look and see like what's trending. You can click on sounds and you can look at what sounds are trending, and then you can kind of relate it back to your business or even type in like hashtags and stuff. It's really just seeing what the market is doing and kind of trying to figure out like, okay, how can I put our spin on this in our industry? But really, I would just say to try to be authentic. We're not in so much a sales world anymore where it's just like, look at this listing. Like, I think everyone wants to see that personal touch. So just working on that. And yeah, I'd say just the personal touch is the big thing here. Other than that, I don't know. I can't really think right now. I do feel like networking events are the biggest thing though, for marketing alone. That's like a big thing to draw people in, especially what I've been going to lately. I'm meeting a bunch of people our age and I'm like, this is crazy how everyone kind of is doing the same thing, but in different ways. And then that's also where you can get ideas from. I know me and Kristin alone, when we talked a few weeks ago, I left and I was like so motivated. So I would definitely say just connecting with like-minded people and just trying to keep up with trends.
Okay, well, Kristin. Okay, it's just very because you know your mom and dad are my age. They're out of. I mean, they're out of it. I mean, they've had this since forever. But what would you tell what would you tell old people? Like, what do you tell your parents when you sit down and you probably go, Tim, the walking and talking. It's great show. I've been on it. But what do you tell your parents about how they can grow as an older person?
Well, the good thing is, they, specifically my dad, is very, very good at social media. He is all over it all the time. So I don't really have to tell him anything, thankfully. But I'm just here to kind of help boost, and I'm here to sprinkle in my little ideas when I have them. Because I agree with Jess. I think a personal touch is the key. Like, to any social media you're trying to do. Like, I have my own personal account that whenever I do a coffee meeting, I always take a picture because it's a personal touch. It's nice to like shout out the person you're meeting and have that be part of your personal brand. It's nice. But that's what I just kind of drill into everybody's head that I talk to about this is like, have a personal touch. And I always say video is like a really big thing on every platform right now. They're all very much pushing video content. So that's really what I always say, try and do if you can. But yeah.
Okay, it's funny. The video is great, but some videos just suck. People just shouldn't be on camera. I mean, no, it's just God's honest truth. You see people, they just sit there and it's like they need a coach to sit there and go, hey, act like you're like, hi, my name is I'm Steve Cooper. Listen to my show, the Coop Tank. But it's just, but so okay. We're going to talk about social media. We're going to talk about AI. Jess, you brought it up earlier. Kristin, you do marketing. What's your take on AI? I personally, as a creator, and I've written screenplays, I hate it. I think that a lot of times we have this the AI posts are so cookie cutter. It's like just put a template, and I don't like it. And for me, I want to see. Once again, you guys said what makes you different is this and that. I want to see that oomph, that personality. But Kristin, what's your take on AI? Do you like it? And you're someone young, so you're growing up with it. It's all new. It's all new fodder. I use the word fodder. Joe, have you ever used the word fodder?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I don't really remember why or when, but surely I have in
I don't
my
know
34 years.
I don't know why I use fodder. But Kristin, what's your take as a young person who, and you guys, I'll be honest, I'm not going to be a dick, but there's what are you, Gen Z? Is that what you are?
I think so.
So there's hey, Francesca back. We're talking about Gen Z. It's there's they're lazy. There's this, and I think they're great. But Kristin, what's your take on AI as someone who's growing up with it? Like you guys grew up. You don't remember? I used to go to college, and we got a computer. We're like, holy shit, what's a computer? But so you've grown up with social media. But what's your take on AI?
So, I work at an IT company, so it is complicated. I personally don't hate AI. I don't think it's great. Overall for creativity or for social media in general, because the problem is when you use like an AI site to make like a caption or write your script, you can tell. It is very clear that you have written your caption with AI. So I don't love that. I think that depersonalizes your approach to social media. So personally, I don't love it, but I know most people in the tech world are like either they love it or they really don't like it, and it's just a weird. It's still in its very early stages, so I think it's hard to say right now, but it's a weird one. I don't know.
Okay, how about you, Francesca? We're talking about AI. What's your take on AI?
I really like the approach that my firm is taking. So it's definitely still in its infancy. I think we're hearing just day to day how much it can change, things to be aware of. We have to be really careful on the compliance side of things. So the way that we're using it and integrating it is to aid in productivity. For me, it's been extremely helpful with even just writing and reformatting things, but the classes that the accountants are taking, how we're being aware of it on the payroll side, as far as how scary and how quickly this industry is changing and like how that can like seem scary. I think instead of saying like, oh, we're just going to avoid it entirely, I'm so proud that instead, like our managing partner is just like, we're going to dive in head first. We're going to learn everything we can about it and we're going to do it the right way. And then we're just going to use it as a tool. So we'll see. And I think, again, I think somebody can do the right thing with it, the wrong thing with it. I think the writing, like you can tell, as Kristin was saying, when something is just written by AI. So I think that just like with all things, finding the balance, the happy medium, that's all you can do. Just learn as much as you can and stay informed.
One thing I do like about AI is I on Facebook on my reels I get there's these Japanese videos of this fat cat, and he always it's just the most addicting thing. I send the link to my wife, and I like that because AI actually can sit there and make people look real. But Jess, what's your take on AI? Because you're in real estate, and you don't. I mean, I'm sure there's listings. Hey, we could do this, but what do you think about AI?
Coincidentally, actually, I went to an AI convention last night and was like fully put into a workshop, and it was probably one of the most uncomfortable things I've like done just trying to learn AI. I'm not against it, and like we use ChatGPT and stuff here and there, and we've kind of used it to figure out like templates and everything. Because again, real estate is very repetitive, so it does help once we have a certain template, we can work off that. But the convention itself was very like, here, do this and you can have 800 things in 5 minutes. And it's like just trying to learn that and understand that that's great in some cases, but we still need to, like me and Kristin were saying, like have a personal touch. It needs to not be forgotten. So I think trying to learn how to, again, balance both of them out is going to be great beneficially for promoting content and getting everything out, but we can't lose that. Like, they're making avatars now of people, and I'm like, that's a lot. But I think we could use it to our advantage and figure it out. But again, I think it's just coming from our generation, especially. I know 2 years ago in college, we weren't using it at all. So now having to adapt to it and figure it out, I'm like, okay, well, it's going to be here and it's not going away. But how do we use it in a way that it's not going to completely replace us and make us basically just turn our brain off, is where I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay.
So,
That makes sense. Now here's a question. It's funny. This is always a different question when my guests are older, but you can't name your parents. You can't name anyone in your family. In the last year, as you're all out, shaking and moving in the business world, who is someone who's been very important to you? We'll start with you, Francesca. Who is someone, you can't say your mom, Ange. I love your mom.
Not?
But
I disagree.
but you can't say who is someone besides, because we always, when you're young, you always look at your parents. But who is someone who's made a difference in your life, in your professional goals, or just what you're doing? Who is someone besides a family member? Kristin, you too. I don't know Jess's parents, but the rest of you. But who is someone who's made a difference, Francesca, for you?
I think, and again, I've been with Abacus for a year, so I'm going to pull from my food days for this. But the food industry, especially food sales, was very male dominated. So for me, having female role models in that space, I had a really great coworker, and then two really great sales managers, but a really great female coworker that when I started going out on the road with her when I was 22 or 23, whatever, I was like, that's what I want to be when I grow up. Like, she had the confidence. She had, I looked at her and knew that was my goal. And so I would say just females in the space that I can look at and take my own spin, pull a little bit from each of them. But her name was Helena, and I learned so much from her. So that would be my go-to.
Okay, Kristin, how about you? You can't say Tim or Deb. You're not allowed to say Tim or Deb. Say who's someone's made a difference in your life, professional.
My parents. I kind of want to just name drop a bunch, but I'll try and keep it short. Some of the people that I really look up to a lot of them are women. I just think women in business are so awesome. But like Meg Varel, Ashley Griffiths, Lisa Marina, Lisa Carney, like all of these women who are like powerhouses in business and have made a name for themselves and have moved and shaped, as you say, years and years, and have made such a difference in people's lives and in my life. Janet Garrity is another one that just are here to help. Like, they make a point to say, hey, if you need something, if you need help, if you need an introduction, if you need this or that, I'm here for you. Like, those people are really special to me. I think they're the people I look up to and would one day want to turn around and help the next generation and do the same thing that they did for me for, the next group.
Okay, Jess, well, you're looking at someone off screen, so maybe they're going to say they're going to say you're saying you got to say Leor, but no, okay, Leor, she's not saying you. You can't say your parents or Leor. There's no Leor. So tell me someone who's made a difference.
Standing in the window trying to make me laugh. No, I kind of going along with you guys as well. I would say two girls that I've worked with over the last 2 years being here. I don't know if you guys know Rocky Desai, but she left about a few months ago, but she was a big role model here coming here. She was already in the real estate world and everything, and really kind of coming in at a young age, you can be very, not immature, but you don't know how to handle, like, especially here, big business people, and trying to understand that not everything is personal and just kind of separate that from work. And I think professionally, her and Emily Stein, who I currently work with, she's our managing director, just learning how to be a woman in the industry and kind of take over and just know your, like, what you need to do. I just feel like they both really helped me transform myself and also give myself confidence in everything I do, really, and just show that, like, this is what I went to school for. This is my passion and everything. And now I want to give back and really show what I'm here for. But yeah, I'd say the two of them, they've been a huge help with my whole professional career. So.
Well, you mentioned being a woman in the business world. And that's why I have all female panels, because my mom, she was back in 1952 working for Campbell Soup. There was no women in marketing. But what challenges, and we'll stay with you, Jess, because you brought it up. What challenges do you face as a woman in the business world? Because we can all say, oh, it's a perfect world, and well, yes, and there's not a lot of guys like me. I mean, I'm in the demographic of creepy old white guy, but I have a beautiful wife, so people know I'm not creepy. But and like Kristin, your dad, he falls in my demo. We're the creepy old white guys. We're outgoing, but we're the most nicest people. But Jess, what challenges? And as a young woman, I've talking to older women on my show who are like the CEO of the household, and they have kids and they do this and this. But what do you face as a younger, successful woman? What challenges do you face, whether it be at the workplace or in networking? What do you face?
I think tying it back to earlier, like trying to get people to understand that even though I'm new and I'm fresher to this and I don't have as much experience, like what I'm trying to do and bring will benefit us. And if we just try it, it'll hopefully work out. But I think it's really just, I don't know, like losing my train of thought.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I don't know. I just feel like it's not the ageism thing, but it's really just trying to like make people understand. I completely blanked on where I was going with that. Sorry, guys. Can you repeat the question? Because I had a really good response, and
no, I said as a woman, a younger woman in the business world, what challenges do you face? I mean, it's something that, as I said, we talk about ages, we tell us, but women already have, like my mom, I mean, what she went through. Women already have something. As I said, it's still a man's world, and I'm sorry to say that, and it sucks, and it should be different, and it's fucking 2025, and it's about time we give women the voice, but they still have a certain. There's sometimes people don't take women as serious. How do you deal with that?
I think, like going back to earlier too, with the women's thing, we want to put a personal touch on stuff. And I know myself, I feel like I come off a little bit more like lighter and like fun. And I want to do everything just like enjoyable, whatever. And I don't know, in the business world, sometimes that is taken as like, okay, she's not taking it serious enough. She doesn't have enough experience, whatever. And I think that's where the big woman thing comes in, especially for guys. I know at some of the events I've gotten a few, even at our event, I'm like, oh, hey, I'm Jess in marketing, whatever. And they'll like ask what I'm doing. And I feel like the way we come off is a lot more just, I mean, myself, I come off like fun and, just trying to make our marketing sound fun. And I feel like that's not a turn off, but I feel like guys are kind of like, okay, she doesn't seem like she knows what she's doing. Like whatever. She doesn't have 25 plus years of experience and numbers to show or whatever. And I think that's the biggest challenge, is just trying to make people see like you can be younger and have the experience and bring it. I don't know. It's new, it's different, it's weird, but yeah.
No, that's awesome. And you're right. It's so funny because I talked about someone, I was in a call earlier today. We're talking about the alpha male.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm like, I hate that term. You're an alpha male, you're a jackass. It's like, you just, it's stupid. But Francesca, how about you? How, as a woman in the business world, how do you deal with it?
I would say that I think I'm like going to have the same problem as Jess, I think, but like I know exactly what Jess means. Yeah. So I'm going to try to do my own version of it. So like, especially so in food, and I think a lot in this too. So two different things. In the food world, it was strange that I was a woman, but I think sometimes I had an easier time getting through a door than a salesman in a collared shirt with a leather binder coming in to say like, come buy from this company instead. That thing that you're talking about, Jess, that like lighter, funner, I think that gives us a slightly easier time to get to the next step sometimes. And then from there, because, right, we're young professionals that know what we're talking about, we can get to that stage, prove that, look, I actually do know what I'm saying, and almost not make the gender and the age go away. But once you start being yourself, it does kind of go away. I'm very lucky that my firm too, a lot of the leadership is female, even like our marketing meetings, our sales meetings, I'm just surrounded by women. So it's so easy for me to like forget that it's a male dominated industry, because my firm has cultivated this space of, not that our opinions are better, but I think sometimes that touch that we can bring to things, that more personal side, the compassionate side, society says like that makes us soft or whatever, but bullshit. I think that makes us extremely good at what we do because we have that other side of it. And we don't look like, what did you call it? An alpha male. Like, I don't know. I'd rather have a conversation with one of us, like just at a glance. Not that all alpha males are bad. And I know it's just a look, but I don't know. I'm very lucky that, yes, it is still very much so a male dominated industry, but just from where I'm sitting, that's still okay. And I'm very grateful for that because I definitely know that's not always the case for people.
And the women's touch is so important because I know for me, like when I was single, I just have 2 pieces of pizza. I put them in the box in the refrigerator. My wife puts them in a Ziploc, wrapped in foil. I'm like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever.
They
I can just
last
heat it
way
up.
longer.
Oh yeah, exactly. Kristin, what's your take?
I really do agree with Jess and Francesca. I feel like they kind of hit all the big points, so I'm going to kind of take it a different direction. I kind of see it as like, I don't even really feel the like pressures that way, at least right now. I more so get in my own head because I have crazy anxiety. So I'm showing up to these networking events, like I'm sitting in my car, like white knuckling my wheel, like, all right, it's fine. I'm gonna go in 1, 2, 3, let's go. Because I'm getting in my own head of like nobody's gonna take me seriously because I'm a young woman in business, like, and I'm showing up with and I'm talking about IT. And quite frankly, I don't know a ton about IT right now because I'm still new to the business, but I'm learning and I'm doing what I can right now. So I almost feel like in a sense of what's it called, imposter syndrome, where I'm like, I know what I'm talking about, but I feel like I show up to these things and nobody's taking me seriously. Which obviously like isn't true, but I get in my own head about it because of my anxiety. So it's honestly more of like an internal thing for me than anything else.
Okay, we're going to stay with you, Kristin, because you said you have anxiety and you think you have imposter. We all go through imposter syndrome. I mean, it's, believe me, it happens. It's your whole life. If you have any conscience, you go through it. But that being said, you sit there and go, oh, they're not going to take me serious. What do you think is a strong point of your personality? Let's flip it. Let's just sit there and go. You go through this, like, oh, imposter. But what makes you special? Not your business, but you.
Oh God. I don't know. I feel like I always I go into these things with good intentions for other people. I'm not really going to like benefit myself. I'm kind of going to like meet other people and learn about other people and know about what they do so I can help them more so than just being like, oh, here's my business card, bye. Like I feel like I bring like a friendliness, if you will. Because I want you to feel comfortable. I want people to feel comfortable talking to me. So that's really like my point of contention. I'm trying to like make it light and fun, like you guys were talking about earlier, like bring a lightness to it so it's not so corporate and this and that. Yeah.
Okay, Francesca, what's something about you that makes you special?
I would say, not to kind of actually piggyback off of Kristin, I think too, because of my hospitality background, that's where I feel most comfortable is taking care of people. So honestly, to throw it back to Angela, because networking was such a new thing for me. And Kristin, I do the same pep talk in my car before I go in. I'm like, okay, we're going to go in, we're going to do it. It's going to be great. We're going to people. But Angela, my networking mentor's advice was exactly what you said, Kristin. You don't want to, you're not walking in just to throw somebody a card, hope it all works out for the commission. Like going in to have genuine conversations with people to the best of your ability in a setting like that, but then come at it with the approach, like, how can I help you? And then once I make it past that stage with people, that's where I have the most fun. And I do really think payroll and food are very different, but at the end of the day, it's still something that you need to take care of your team. And I think that's why I'm able, not to sell it, but I think that's why I feel more comfortable in that, because I like the taking care of people aspect of things. And that's with everything, not just with work. That's where I feel most comfortable. Even like at a dinner party, like, please put me to work, put me somewhere, like, keep me busy. That's so I like that. I like that version of it, that side of it.
Okay, how about you, Jess? What makes you special?
Well, you're not gonna like the answer, but I think the same thing as them. I was gonna say connection because I feel like when I come anywhere, I just want to connect with people and kind of understand at a networking event, at a dinner, like Francesca was saying, like I just really am like all in. I want to know everything about everyone and just kind of even not on like a work side. I just want to know like what you do for fun or like how we can kind of connect and like if you really like coffee, what's your favorite coffee order? Like I just feel like that's something that I separate from, especially in business world, because when you go to every networking event, it's like, oh, what do you do for work? And it's like, we'll ask that, but then I want to go farther and not just make it all about what we can do to help you. I want to just kind of connect on a level and be like, what do you like to do with your kids or whatever? And I feel like that kind of makes it lighter and it makes people remember you easier. So I think that's where I kind of separate from some people. It's definitely a marketing thing too, though. I feel like a lot of us are all the same, and girls, I just feel like we all have that. So,
Which I think is a superpower.
yeah.
Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Okay, well, we're gonna stay with you, Francesca. What's your superpower? You opened the can of worms. What's your superpower? Mine is to make people laugh and just to be an asshole that people don't get mad at. But what's your superpower?
I feel like I'm going to be a really bad person to answer that. I think not to like go back to the imposter syndrome thing. I don't know if I would say people. When I was, used to be in a dining room at 7:30 on a Friday night, that was my superpower. And I think in the same way, when I'm doing something for work that I care about, I put 110% into it without even being able to help it. That's just like my default, which not always great, but I definitely have found an environment that really puts an emphasis on work-life balance. But I think my superpower would be I try to do the best that I can whenever I'm able, without like I'm trying to say that in a way that's like not always good, but
No, you could say you can pat yourself on the back because if you go on fucking LinkedIn, everyone pats it. They go, "Oh, what I've learned this." I'm like, I don't give a shit what you've learned. I mean, I did mind eraser shots with Jonathan Taylor Thomas. You can tell me what I learned. I learned never drink with Jonathan Taylor Thomas. So I think, so Jess, what's your superpower?
Kind of similar to Francesca. I would say going all in. Like I know no matter what I do, even aside from work, I'm someone that like once you give me the project or once you give me something to do, like I'm going to do it to 100%. Even if it doesn't work out, at least we tried every avenue. And I think maybe it's like an obsession problem or something, but it's definitely, it makes me feel satisfied because I know I tried every avenue. So, but yeah, I'd say going all in because at the end of the day, it shows that you care and you try, and yeah, usually it works out. So.
Kristin, what's your superpower?
I'm going to be so cheesy and it's going to be painful to listen to, but I feel like I just like care so much about what I'm doing. Like because I'm working for a family business and because I'm working with the people I love, I care and I want like our company to succeed. I want the people I'm meeting to succeed. We're hosting the race next month. I want that to succeed. I care about the things I'm doing. And I always try to like follow a path that I feel passionate about what I'm doing and how I'm helping and how I'm giving back. So that's kind of the gist.
Well, before I ask the last question, I'll tell you this about your race. The walking and talking. I did that last year. I walked. I'm not going to run 5 miles. I die. But the thing is, though, what came, and there's people, if you're watching this is what networking is. I met Chuck Garrity at that event. And now on May 29th, I have one of the biggest comedians in this area, Hallmark writer, WIP guy, Jay Black. We're doing a comedy show at Death of the Fox. It took a year, but that's what networking is. It took a year, and now I have the show coming up. And I hooked up Chuck with Zane Lamprey, who's a friend of mine. But people, that's what networking is about. It's not overnight. It takes a while. It took me a year to get a comedy show there. It took me a year of doing Cocktails with Cooper, where now I have Laughter at the Lanes in the suite, luxury suite on May 15th. But that's funny. That's what your dad's race, and now it's a nonprofit. It makes difference. That's what networking is about. So people, anyway, the last question, and I always ask it's going to be, I want to hear the answers because I always ask people who've been around for a while. And I ask them, you give advice to someone. Well, now you're all young. So you're out kicking ass in the business world. you get put in a mentor position. And it's weird to think that you're 25, 26, 29, that you're a mentor, but you are. You can be a mentor to someone. Jess, what is advice if some 19-year-old comes up to you or 22-year-old just out of college? What advice do you give them how to make shit happen? How to just succeed, because you're all very successful. What do you tell them?
I would do two things: is learn how to be organized, especially in marketing world. If you're not going to start from the beginning, you're going to be so lost. And take every opportunity, because especially in marketing, with any networking event, even last night with the AI, you meet so many people and you'll just see so many different things. And you most likely are never going to regret going to anything and getting something out of it. So,
okay. How about you, Francesca?
I would say, just especially as far as general career advice, what I would say to somebody just starting out or even figuring out what's next, find something that you're curious about, even if that will eventually develop into something that you love. If you're not curious or interested in it, and it's going to constantly an uphill battle, you're not going to love it. And work is so much of our lives that's just no way to wake up every day. So find something that you're curious about, that like is engaging to you, and it won't be an effort to try to do a good job. You're going to love it. You're going to want to learn about it. And I think that can apply to any industry across the board. Just follow your passion, take every opportunity. You never know where it's going to go.
How about you, Kristin? What advice?
So I think if you're in college, I would say caring is cool. Hey, caring is cool, by the way. Don't make sure what you're doing in college or in life is something you actually care about. Because that's super important. You're going to be doing it probably your whole life. So make sure it's something you really want to be doing. And also, I've heard this from a few people that I look up to, is be uncomfortable and get uncomfortable. Go do things you're uncomfortable doing. Like, I'm still a little uncomfortable going to certain networking events. I do it anyway. Just get out there, get uncomfortable, get doing what you're doing so you can keep progressing, keep growing. That's a big one.
That's awesome. This has been so invigorating for me. I'm gonna tell you, it's funny. I think I'm next. Joe, we're off next week, right?
I think so. I need to look at my calendar.
But I think no, we are. But I think I'm gonna get more young professionals, because you guys are the pulse. And as I said, I want all female panels from now on. I think Cooper Talk, the Coop Tank's all females, because you guys have so much insight and there's no alpha males. But Jess, how can people get in touch with you?
Well, we have Vantage Commercial pretty much everywhere for LinkedIn and Instagram and everything. But my personal accounts and everything is just my name. So, Jess Battistelli.
Okay. How about you, Francesca?
The same. I would say LinkedIn has my email address, my telephone number. See you out and about. But that would be, Francesca, and then the coffee, the Starbucks size. Sometimes that helps with the remembering.
How about you, Kristin?
So we have a couple things. We have my own personal socials, which Facebook and LinkedIn, I'm just Kristin Jennings. On Instagram, I'm KMJ_social. And then we have the Telecorp stuff, Telecorp Technologies on Facebook and LinkedIn, and Telecorp NJ on LinkedIn, Instagram. Sorry. And then we also have the Walking and Talking stuff. So my dad's Walking and Talking on Instagram, Tim Jennings on the other two. So wherever you want to find us and follow us, please do.
Okay, so people, future guests, see, they didn't give their phone number out. Never give your phone number out. I tell my niece, don't give your goddamn phone number, because there's creeps. There's creepy guys who go, oh, yeah, how you doing? I saw you on the Coop Tank. People, you can get in touch with me at the Coop Tank at yahoo.com. Go to my other shows. I've over 1,050 episodes of the Cooper Talk, coopertalk.net. Just interviewed Tom Petty's drummer, Stan Lynch, amazing guy. Also go to a Coop's Comedy Corner. Search me on YouTube. I just had Sue Kalinsky, who is an Emmy-winning producer. And and get the Coop Tank at yahoo.com. Next comedy show is actually this Saturday. Tomorrow night, I'll be at Tony Roney's Dave Evans Comedy Show, May 15th. It's Splits, Luxury Lounge, Laughter at the Lanes. May 28th, it's Cork's Comedy and Connections at the Soundplex. And May 29th is Death of the Fox, which you guys all go to. We're having a great comedy at Jay Black's the Best. And Joe, before we go, tell us a little more about Contap. I want to hear about Contap.
Okay, sure. I guess so. Contap is NFC products. So key fobs, table stands, wristbands, more new cool products on the way as well. But it basically makes it easier than ever to take any live networking scenario, or really any social scenario in which you're trying to share something with somebody in the digital domain. So it could be a website, a link, resource, podcast, whatever. And you can do that instantly. And they're cool, sleek, lightweight, portable, affordable products. Learn more at contap.com, CONNTAP, or connect with me on LinkedIn, Joe Gangemi. Thank you, Coop.
And I want to thank all of you for listening and watching. And I'm going to tell you, when you're at an event, reach out to these women. They're making a difference, and it is scary. And Kristin, you said about white knuckling. Well, it is scary. And when I moved back from LA, I'm a big shot. I'm joking, but it was scary for me. And the thing is, if you're at an event, if you see Jess, Francesca, or Kristin, say, "Hey, man, we saw you on the Coop Tank." Anyway, people have a great weekend. I'm Steve Cooper. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I'll talk to you guys 2 weeks from now.